Hey guys, this is the weekend box office from July 7th to the 9th. It was a pretty big weekend with Spider-Man Homecoming. It grossed pretty well. It debuted at number 1 with 117 million, which is huge for the movie, which it's the best Spider-Man opening in a pretty good amount of time. It had great reviews. It'll probably hold decently for a superhero movie. So, it had a pretty great start. It started out in a ton of theaters, just in over 4,300, which is pretty big for that movie. Still didn't open as big as Despicable Me 3. Despicable Me 3 was still the highest, it was still in the most theaters. Number 2 is Despicable Me 3. It did 33.6 million, took a 53.6% toll. Now, this is bad because all the prior movies except for Minions dropped in the 40s. This is a big drop, especially because it came off of a pretty bad weekend. People thought, yeah, it'll be able to keep a good hold. Maybe it'll be able to fall only 40%. Wasn't the case. It fell 53.6%. Despicable Me 2 did 43.9 million, a whole 10 million ahead. It only fell 47.4%. Despicable Me, it was only $800,000 behind from Despicable Me 3, but that took a 41.8% drop. And Minions did 49.3 million. It was a big movie, so the big drop was understandable. It took a 57.4% drop. Number 3 was Baby Driver. It took a bigger drop than expected. I thought everybody was like 15 million. I was like 13, 14 million. It did that. It fell 36.7%, and it didn't fall too flat. But it's still, for a generally not amazing opening, that's not the best. Number 4 was Wonder Woman. It did 9.9 million. It took a 37.5% drop. It's still doing great. The reviews are still really good. So, don't expect it to die anytime soon. Just expect it to kind of fade off. Number 5 was Cars 3, which is able to do $5.4 million. It didn't take a big drop. It only took a 44.5% drop. And it did $5.4 million, but still, this movie is just a flop for Pixar, coming off of the huge Finding Dory box office gross. 135 million first weekend. It's just reaching that right now. And it'll probably get to about 150 million if there's a re-release in September, like they usually do, September, August, like they did with Inside Out and Finding Dory. But that's still, they should have at least gotten it past Cars 2. I thought it was going to do better than Cars 2. I thought 220 million, actually. But, with its bad holds, this is where it is. And Cars 2 took a 44.7% drop on its fourth weekend, but it still did 8.4 million, which was 3 million ahead. And that, at that point, it's too far for Cars 3 to catch Cars 2, so it just needs to minimize damage, which it means they need to put out more marketing towards it. They had some good for 4th of July, which is why it kind of didn't take that big of a drop this weekend, because people were like, oh, let's get out and go see it again. It was an alright movie, but, that's why it's not doing so well. And also, worldwide, it's going to be debuting big this weekend. Let's see how it can do. Can it pass Cars to worldwide? Because right now its worldwide numbers are terrible, but that's because it's limited worldwide. But what do you guys think about Cars 3? So next weekend we have War for the Planet of the Apes opening, which I think it's going to open around 63 million, which would put it just in the number 1 spot. That is not bad for the franchise. It's I think one was able to do 70, one was able to do 50. Excuse me for not knowing the exact names, but it's still going to do somewhere out in the middle. It has generally some hype for the movie, a lot of controversy, but it should be able to take the number 1 spot. Number 2 is Spider-Man Homecoming, which should have a generally right drop for its genre, not Wonder Woman type stuff, but a pretty good hold at 56 million. It's going to be a war for the number 1 spot. I don't know how much Spider-Man's going to fall and how much Planet of the Apes, the War for the Planet of the Apes is going to do. But I think it's safe to say that Planet of the Apes is going to take the prize. Number 3 right now, I think it's going to be Despicable Me 3. It'll fall probably about 50%. to 17 million, which is still going to keep its total lower than the second, third, and Minions. I mean, lower than the second movie and Minions. It might outgrow Despicable Me, but I'm not expecting anything. Number 5 is The Big Sick. It's opening wide this weekend, and I expect it to do about 5 million. It has good reviews. People are liking it. Yeah, it's gonna be a war. It's not gonna be like a big war, but like for the number 5 spot between that and Wonder Woman, I have Wonder Woman pegged at around 5 million too, but give it to The Big Sick because it's a new movie. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice evening or daytime, and get out and see those movies.